today we got to play Hanabi. So this is a deduction and co-op game.
It's a memory.
And yeah, a lot of memory.
Trying to create
Someone
sets.
had better memory than others.
Yes. Somebody had better clues than others, too.
Oh, whatever. But before we get into it, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell because board games are amazing, and that's what we do here at Legends of Nirvana.
Don't forget to hit the button. I would forget, because I can't remember anything, apparently.
It was so bad, guys. All right. Randy, can you tell us a little bit more about Hanabi?
I can, because I wrote it down, so I won't forget. So Deluxe Hanabi, this is the version we have, Hanabi was a 2010 release. Deluxe Hanabi, this version of it is a 2014 release because it won the 2013 Spiel des Jahres, and we wouldn't have known that in 2010.
Okay.
So I deduced that. But yeah, so this was a 2014 release. It helps that I saw the copyright on it too. Board Game Geek rating is 7.1. Board Game Geek rank is 486. So it's a top 500 game on Board Game Geek.
Okay.
2 to 5 player game, 25 minutes average length, age is 8 and up, so Sarah was able to play with us. Designed by Antoine Baza. Art is also by Antoine Baza, but also Harald Werle and Albertine Rolenti. Published by R&R Games. Now this has been released multiple times. It started out as Hanabi, which was a card game. Then it was Hanabi Deluxe, which was the domino style game. Then there was Hanabi Deluxe 2, which was another domino style game but it's the one that's currently available. I don't know what it changes. Then there's Hanabi Grand Feux, F-E-U-X, I'm probably mispronouncing that. Then there's Hanabi Festival. There's also a ton of expansions. Problem is, I don't know what they're for because I don't know which version the expansions apply to. They look like they were cards, so I'm assuming it's only for the base Hanabi card game. But, the ones that I found on retailer sites, for Card House has base Hanabi, the card game, for $8.99. And the Deluxe 2 for $48.99. I didn't pay near that for this, so I got a really good deal on this. Maybe it's because the Deluxe 2 was coming out. Game Nerds, though, has the cheapest for base Hanabi that I saw for $7.77. And Watchtower had the cheapest Deluxe 2 for $47.49.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so let's talk about the quality components for this Deluxe version. These tiles are super thick. They are screen printed on both sides. It felt very good tactilely. Yeah.
And
I thought it was great.
This is one of the prettier ones I saw. There's actually other versions of the Deluxe where they had just like shapes as opposed to the fireworks.
Oh, I definitely want the fireworks.
Yeah, the fireworks are really cool.
And then these are some sort of plastic. They're super shiny, but they're really kind of nice. I like them. Except
for the fact that, once again, I got a misprint because you're supposed to have 4 of the fuse tiles and 8 of the clocks. I got 5 fuse tiles and 7 clocks. So we had to use one of the fuse tiles as a clock.
Well, keep it real.
Yeah.
So overall quality of components, it's just really nice for what it is. There's not a lot to it, but I'm going to give it an 8 because I really do like these tiles. I will say I'm very glad we got tiles and not cards.
Also the packaging is really nice because it has a magnetic box. It's got these dividers in there to tell you what to put underneath, where you put your story, your tokens, and there's also wild tiles that have all the rainbow color on them that you can play with variants. There's 3 different uses of those in the game. So it's a really nice packaging. So I agree with an 8.
What do you think, Sissy?
I would say an 8.5, because the box is so good, and I do really love the tiles. They're just, I think that's a good idea to make it thick. It doesn't also fall over when we'll talk about more of that in gameplay. But I think I'll rate it an 8 too.
Okay. All right. So now let's move on to the actual theme. So the theme is that you and your cohorts are trying to do a fireworks show, but obviously you have to start with the small fireworks and move up to obviously the big fireworks. And to do that, though, You have to work across the different stations, aka different people, to let people know when they're supposed to trigger the fireworks. However, you don't know what you have loaded up because you weren't paying attention.
Yes, you're absent-minded fireworks professionals.
So you have to have the other ones are trying to signal you on how to do that. So it's kind of a fun little thing.
Yeah.
That's great.
You are bad at your job.
If you're not careful, you'll blow up.
Yeah. If you're not careful, you gotta blow up. But it's kind of one of those things. It's kind of like, you're not great at your job, so now you have to fix your own problems. And I kind of like that. I think that's kind of cute. And then the artwork, I'm so glad that we got fireworks instead of the shapes or whatever. So for me, definitely a win there. I'm probably, theme-wise, it is pretty light, but it is pretty solid. I'm going to give it a 6.5 just because I liked it. It's fun.
Yeah, I mean, I think the fireworks are pretty on the tiles, and, they've got the nice, I'm not sure what that thing's called, but it's a Chinese, I'm sure it's a
entryway, something.
Yeah, some kind of terrace-looking thing, but it's really neat. And then I like the way that they reflect on the ground. Even it's really they put a lot of effort into the tiles. And then if I had gotten the proper ones of these, they were supposed to have like a long fuse, middle fuse, and short fuse. I think I got 2 middle fuses, 2 short fuses, and a bomb explosion. So I didn't get the right tile combinations. But the fact that they had the fuse ticking down, I thought was a clever touch too.
Yeah.
So all in all, I think I'm going to go ahead and give it a 7 because I think they've done a lot with the art, and it's a minimalist thing, but I think it's really pretty.
I would agree with you because, again, I really do like a theme, especially like a kid my age, 9 years old. It's meant for like younger, like beginners, I can tell. I really do like the art. It's very pretty. So I'll agree with you, 7.
All right.
Okay. All right. So now let's move on to the actual rulebook.
So
very small and sweet.
Yes, the rulebook's a centerfold, unfortunately, but it's it's a simple read. It's got basically 6 panels, and it tells you exactly how to play. I mean, all it is 3 different actions you can take on your turn. It tells you the outcomes of the game, and basically it ranks you at the end based upon your performance. So I like that when you're playing a co-op game like this. I always like when they give you like colorful things to say. If you get this many points, you get this. This is what your rating is, and they mock you if you get a very bad score and so on. So I think it's it's fun, and they do have a page on strategic advice, and they specifically tell you cannot talk and share information because it's dishonorable to basically cheat in the game. We cheated.
Once-ish.
Well, there was more than once. But then we were trying to teach a youngster, so we were trying to get them involved. But either way, we had fun.
Yeah, I absolutely had a lot of fun.
So the rulebook doesn't affect your job teaching the game. I just don't like the style of the threefold. But apart from that, I'm gonna go ahead and give it an 8. I think it does a fine job.
Okay,
that's a short read.
That's great.
Next is gameplay. So how you play is that everyone's gonna get 5 tiles.
And you can't look at them.
You cannot look at them.
But you should place them to where everyone else can see them.
Yeah. So in this case, I would place them. Give me a second.
It's a good thing I don't have good eyesight because I can see them in the camera.
So you're going to have 5 tiles. You're going to lay them out to where your partners can see them. The first person, let's say I'm the first person to go. One action you can take is you can give a clue to someone. So let's say, Daddy, you have 2 1s. Right here and right here.
Yep, so you actually have to call it a number. So if somebody doesn't have a number, you cannot say you have 0 of something because you actually have to point to the tiles. Yeah. So she told me these 2 are both 1s, which is good because you have to start with 1s.
Yep. And then it would be...
It would be Daddy? Oh, it would be my turn.
Yeah.
And so...
And we have to burn a clock for her.
Yeah.
Telling
so another action that you can take is you can discard one. Now, I don't have any information on my tiles, so now would not be the best time to do it. But in case... But I'm going to need to do it eventually because I'm going to need to give time to my compatriots to actually be able to get to the thing. So I'm going to discard this one. So it's a 2 white. Hopefully there's another one out there. And then I'm going to flip back to that time that we get, and then I'm going to pick a new one and put it up.
All right, so I know I've got a 1, and we need 1s to start, so I'm going to go ahead and play a 1. So we have a white 1 out there. So there's 5 colors, 6 if you count the wilds. But with this game, we've only got the 5 in play. So we know we have the white ones now. So if somebody has a white 2, we can start playing on the whites, or we can play more 1s.
Yeah, I just discarded my 2 white.
Yeah. So very unfortunate play.
All right, but so those are the 3 different actions that you can take during your turn. Now, game ends when the last person takes the last tile. Then everyone gets 1 more turn, and that triggers the end.
That or
if you say, let's say I try to put an action into that one, that wouldn't work.
Since there's a red 4 and there's no reds, we haven't played red, that ticks off 1 off the bomb.
And
if you tick off 3 ticks off the bomb, we go boom. Yeah. That's the bad ending.
And this goes to the discard, so you don't get it back, but you don't get a time for discarding it.
And the third possibility of ending is the best case scenario. You manage to play 1 through 5 in every color. If you do that, you automatically win the game and you get the best case scenario. Everybody loves your show.
Yeah. So I thought this was a lot of fun working together as a team in a little more fun, because some co-op games are, especially for the age bracket that Sarah's in, is a little easy and not as enjoyable. But this one I thought was a lot of fun because you're giving each other clues and it helps really build deduction and reasoning as well as that memory. So it's good for Randy to keep his mental
it's like I'm a little late, obviously. But as you're changing tiles out, it gets very hard to remember. At first it seems simple, but as you're playing and you swap tiles out, you discarded tiles here, you played tiles, it gets harder to remember all the facts.
So yeah, it's just excuses, really. But
pretty much.
I will say, because we played 2 games, the second game I was getting confused with some of the stuff of the first, and I was like, wait a second, nope, that was the first game. That's not true. So I will say that towards the end there, I was like, I don't know anymore.
Well, it didn't help that we had the mystery case of the spilled milk that we had to investigate.
So I went to get up to go do something real quick, and we see this splatter of milk, literally
a trail leading to our autistic son
in the living room. So it went from the kitchen down the hallway, across the stair entrance way, and then into the living room. But then when we we found the end of the trail with my son, we could not find the bowl or apparatus that the milk
we did not find the weapon.
And we still can't find. We hope that he put it back into the sink, but the trail looks like we're going to do a search after this video.
We still have some suspicious figures because someone else had milk in their possession. So we've got two suspects.
Yeah. But I'm leaning towards Walter's. I really enjoyed this. I thought it was a lot of fun for a fairly straightforward deduction game. And I had a lot of fun with you guys. So I'm actually going to give this a 7.5 to an 8. I liked it. This is actually a fun little party game I played.
I mean, I really liked it. So I'm going to give it an 8. It's definitely good for maybe a little under my age too, like 7, 6. So I would have rated an 8.
Okay. Daddy, what do you think? What's your score?
I'm probably right there with you both. I'll probably go ahead and give it an 8. I think because it is so short, it's something you can get to the table easily, and it's going to involve people, whether they're gamers or not, they're going to enjoy this. It's a good entry-level game that it's going to help suck in players that are not necessarily hardcore gamers. So I think it's another good niche game to have in your collection, and it doesn't take up much space. That's another thing. It's very portable. You can easily take this on a trip. I
actually want to take this up to my sisters because I think we would have a lot of fun doing this.
I'm going to play with you.
Yeah, so I'm going to definitely be taking this one.
That was good timing. We got it to the table.
I know. I'm super excited because they told me, Miranda, bring us some new games, but keep them light. So this one definitely fits that bill. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We had an absolute blast tonight, and hopefully you'll come hang out with us again. We'll catch you guys later.
Bye!